Welcome to this report on the final day of the 2022 Project Edward Week of Action. We have our final stops on the road trip, plus a look at an initiative to reduce close following, or tailgating if you prefer, on the strategic road network. We'll examine post-crash response as a safe system pillar in our final video from Transport Scotland, and we'll mark 10 years of improved road safety thanks to the Bosch eCall service. First off though, let's head for the northeast where our Stuart Lovatt is in Durham.
Well, here we are, day 5, Project Edward's road trip in the north. We've set off this week from Blackpool, then to Leyland, Preston, Leeds yesterday, and now we're at Durham Services, where we're going to be putting on an event with the police and other emergency services, National Highways, our corporate sponsor for this year's event. So we're looking forward to seeing what today has to offer and how we're all going to work together to ensure that our roads stay safe. So Project Edward in Durham Services, the team who are taking part in Operation Tramline today. So here today we have Operation Tramline in action, the first detection of the day, travelling down the A1M. This flatbed truck, overladen, unsecured load, and also a tyre that's actually shredded as he was driving down. So the tramline car that was picked this up, the driver is now being spoken to and will be prosecuted for the state of his vehicle.
We're here today from the Commissioner's office supporting Project Edward at Durham Services so that we are looking at ensuring that vehicles on the road are safe. Today is part of an overall effort that is to try and ensure that people are safe on the road and that we can keep it that way into the future.
So Nigel, I believe you've just been out in the Operation Tramline vehicle. So what did you find when you were actually out on the M1?
It was interesting to be able to clearly see the traffic, to be able to identify whether people had their seat belts on, whether they were or were not using the mobile phones. And it seems to me that the vehicle is a great vehicle to be able to monitor, check and enforce the laws regarding the highways. So to me it was a great vehicle and a great experience.
So the theme of Project Edward this year is about changing minds and changing behaviours. So do you think operations like this and events like this can help to raise awareness, to change people's behaviour and understanding of what they can do to reduce their risk whilst on the roads?
I think these events are a key to help raise the profile of road safety, but at the same time address unroadworthy vehicles. So you're actually doing two things. One is raising the profile, and the second thing is dealing with some unroadworthy vehicles that at the same time help bring home to people that this is a serious issue, that if there are failures there could be serious consequences, and to me this is really part and parcel and a good way of raising the profile of road safety.
So I'm the Regional Safety Programme Manager sitting within operations, and I work with the police forces and safety partnerships across the region on operations like this to spread our safety messages and engage with people. But bringing all our partners together gives us a really great opportunity to share messages with our customers and show that we're all working together to make the road a safer place, but we need them to work with us as well as drivers. And changing minds and changing behaviours, we really need to speak to people about doing that. Having national campaigns is absolutely fantastic, but not everybody sees those. We get out on the ground, we introduce the work that the police are doing and why they're doing it. They're doing it to save lives. We introduce the tramline cab and why it's out there and what kind of behaviours the police are out there looking for, and that really gets people thinking.
So Operation Tramline is something that we're doing at the moment in conjunction with Operation Edward. Today we've got the HGV behind us, which we've used to pull in vehicles to check for defects from our main carriageway. The vehicle you see behind me, the flatback, has been pulled in, and we found a multitude of defects with that vehicle. There's a lot of tools within the rear seat which could fly forward should the vehicle come to a sudden halt. There's defects with the tyres. There's scrap metal on the back of the vehicle which is not secured down. and the side compartments which hold the load in in a secure place, again, are all loose and can come open at any time.
So Kevin, the main theme for this year's Project Edward is changing minds and changing the behaviour. How do you think that something like Operation Tramline, and you're pulling this vehicle over, how do you think you're going to be able to change this driver's behaviour?
We've pulled this driver over and we've hoped to change his behaviour. We hope to change his mind with regards to any future events. There's two elements that we've gone down today. One's the enforcement route. So this driver's going to be, his vehicle's been taken off the road. It's going to go up to £2. He's going to have to get the defects rectified before he gets the vehicle back. All that's going to cost him money. So it's going to hit him in the pocket. But what we've tried to do is educate him whilst he's been here today. He's been given leaflets, booklets, but we've also tried to go around and explain the consequences of what would happen should this vehicle have been involved in a road traffic collision. Now, the biggest thing for us is he's had his child on board today, and that's we've used that as a way to try and educate him of the consequences that would happen. There's loose parts, loose equipment in the back of that vehicle where other people would sit, and they would have came forward and potentially caused a catastrophic fatal incident should he have been involved in a collision.
Very busy here today with Operation Tramline. Another flatbed picked up with a completely unsecured load, wheels, tyres, and looks like old batteries, all just left in the back of the vehicle. So, successful day here with Project Edward, supporting Operation Tramline. So, there's been some very interesting findings. The police have been detecting people driving with illegal, defective vehicles, unsecure loads, and other driving offences. So there's been a lot of engagement with the drivers. Some of it have been just little advisory messages being given to them of how they could reduce the risk whilst out on the roads. But other times they've had to resort to a prosecution because in the case that we saw with the flatbed truck was multiple vehicle offences, so they had no option but to impound the vehicle, and that vehicle has now been taken away and the driver will face summary prosecution. So a very successful day, brilliant example of partnership working, and a lot of engagement with members of the public here in Durham, explaining what Operation Tramline in support of Project Edward Week of Action was all about.
And that's the end of the programme and the end of our 2022 Week of Action. Many thanks to everyone who helped with all the events held during the week. Thanks to our partners, and thanks to you for supporting and watching. Don't forget to continue following our social media channels. We're on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and YouTube. Like and share our messages if you can, and post your own road safety messages with the hashtag Project Edward. We'll be announcing plans for our 2023 campaign later this year. Make sure you join the newsletter list on the Project Edward website to get this information as soon as it's released. So, thank you very much from everybody here on the Project Edward team. It's goodbye and thanks for watching. See you next year.